Hello, my friend, and welcome to the 447th episode of the Sales Podcast. I'm Wes Schaefer, the Sales Whisperer, your host. Today, we have Tricia Sciortino. We're going to get into how you can accomplish more and juggle less. She specializes in virtual assistants, and obviously in these unprecedented times where we're all in this together. Why we're growing closer together by staying apart, all other crap. But look, people and businesses that already had some type of remote presence have been weathering this storm a little bit easier. My sales and total revenue is actually up during this time. But I've worked from home since 2000. I've worked for myself from home since late 2006. I've probably met 1% of my clients ever in all of those years. And I've got clients and prospects I've spoken to and helped in at least 29 different countries and thousands of people. I've been using Zoom. I do these interviews. I started doing them with Skype back in the day. I use Zoom now. But I've done video sessions with prospects and clients for many years, and especially, teaching software, teaching people how to leverage Infusionsoft, HubSpot, things like that. It's actually a benefit to do it over the computer because we can record it. And what I typically do, and I've been doing this since around 2013 at least, when I had grown my team, I had an office for about a year, 15 months, something like that. And we changed things up on how we trained new customers. And what we did, and really we only had one or two people ever complain. It was awesome. But I always say that I'll navigate and you drive. And what that means is you're sharing your screen and I'm showing you click here, click there. And the reason it's better is because you develop muscle memory, and we would record the sessions. Okay. When you meet in person, there's obviously some benefits. You can explain things a little easier, maybe. The body language, you can grow closer to one another for sure as well. Deeper bonds, friendship, relationship, and all that is important. But when you're learning a new skill, learning a new piece of software, clicking through and having a little pressure on you, right, to pay attention, get things done, master it, and record it so you can share it with your team later, it's a great idea. And so I've done that for many, many years now, quite successfully. But we get into, with Tricia, how to work effectively remotely, how to organize, build culture, and communicate. So a lot of important things that you need to be applying, to grow. And look, this is, for lack of a better term, it's the new normal. I think a lot of this is overblown. I can get into a whole conspiracy thing, blah, 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 but maybe later. I got some other books to get into. Maybe I'll bring those up. But it is what it is. I think we're going to see people leaving big cities. People already more comfortable working from home, maybe growth in some of these co-working places, smaller crowds, maybe an executive suite, so you can get out of the house, get out of your pajamas, get away from the kids for a bit. I saw an interesting thing talking about car usage may go up because they're not going to want to ride on mass transit, subways, buses, things like that, in the big cities. I can't say I blame people. I wouldn't like being crowded anyway, but that's why I work from home. Other than not going to church, and although we're doing that from the parking lot now, but so that and jiu-jitsu, and if you won't tell anybody, I've been able to train. So, but that's our little secret, all right? But other than that, my life has been remarkably similar. So how well are you set up to handle shocks like this? How are you going to scale? How are you going to grow your team if this is new? You got to have these conversations, all right? If you need help with that, hit me up. Like I said, I've done this for a long time. And the messaging that you put out right now, it was different in the very beginning. And some of the content I've created for my clients reflected that. We are starting to come out of this, right? I think too slowly, but people are clamoring to open up. You've seen multiple states now, Ohio, Wisconsin, Oregon, their courts have ruled against these overreaching provisions by states. I think you're going to see that really swell. Georgia and Florida have already been open and cases are going down. So the argument to keep things locked down is quickly going away. But it doesn't mean everyone will just flock to their old ways. And states are still opening in phases. Even these states that are opening, it's not 100% like before. So you've got to adjust, right? So what are you doing to make that happen? How are you going to handle this? And doing it alone, you probably can get it done. It's just going to take you more time. Okay? When you work with me, you're investing in time travel, right? You're going to learn from my mistakes so you don't make them. So, go to thesaleswhisperer.com, go to the contact us, and let's talk if you think I might be able to help you accelerate some of these things. The utilization of staff, like we're going to talk to here with Tricia, and then tighten up your message. Your message has to change a little bit right now. But man, everywhere, everyone I talk to, man, I don't want to mention any industries because I've got clients. I don't want to relay or reveal anything, but everyone writes the same type of stuff. I've got it on my homepage. If you go check it out, very top, this conglomeration of weak videos, and it's like all of the same. It's like everybody hires the same boring company to read from the same template. And, look, if you sound like your competition, if you act like them, if you look like them, if you make dumb videos like them, if you make weak-sounding messages, poor landing pages, boring letters and emails that sound just like everybody else, the only way your competition, or the only way your customers can differentiate between you and your competition is on price. And that's no good. Okay? So let me help you. All right? And I've spent some time today as well, as I always do, before I record a new episode, go through and look at everything on the site. What are the calls to action? And one thing that I've added is a page on fitness. And so I just made it kind of quickly. I'm going to have my team start cleaning it up and enhancing it. But I'll be adding more links to the foods I eat, some of the gear that I use. I just turned 50 and I'm in good shape. But I've always been in pretty good shape. And that has been, one of my secrets of my success, if you will. But, what do you eat? What supplements do you take? How do you train? It matters. So if you want to check that out, there's two places you could go, but thesaleswhisperer.com/health. Got a short video, and I'm linking out to some things, different things I'm taking. A funny picture of Val Kilmer. You may want to check that out. And like I said, I'll be adding to it. I'm using some new gear. I've got to get the workflow figured out for that. How to get that to you and save you, free shipping. And these are, 20 and 40 and 100-pound bags. So free shipping's going to matter. But if you want to go straight to the product line that I'm using now and am loving it, just go to thesaleswhisperer.com/fitness. If you listen to this right now or this week, well, there's not too many days left, but they've always got sales on. Right now, it's a 25% off apparel. They've got another sale coming up on supplements, and they rotate through a few different ones, but I'm taking different things for enhancing my training, things for clearer focus that actually I think is working, testing the thing for better sleep. So we'll see how that goes. Trying their protein bars, their joint supplement is really helping my knees already. So check that out, thesaleswhisperer.com/fitness. Now, let's bring on our guest. Tricia Sciortino, all the way from North Carolina, CEO of Belay Solutions. Welcome to the Sales Podcast. How the heck are you?
Hey, I'm awesome. Hey, Wes, how are you?
Very nice. I'll ask the questions here. Don't be turning things around. All right.
Okay. I'm
all
ready to
ready.
receive. Give it to me.
I gotta lay the foundation. So what is happening, huh? Belay Solutions. You're the boss. Are you bossy or just the boss?
I get a little bit of both. I would
All
say
right.
I'm a little bossy.
I like
and
honesty.
I'm also the boss. So
I tell
I'm
people,
going to try and fake it. This is real deal.
I've known since 1999 when I was given my first management position that I'm hard to work for. So I get it. It's all good, but you got to be honest with yourself.
Yes.
Because of the crazy times, I want to mention right away, and I've already shared this online before we even go live, you've created a guide, and we'll get into why, and people need to get this and what your credentials are, you and your company, but you created the Belay Guide to Working from Home, right? Yes. So we're linking to that, but just to cut to the chase, I mean, you help people hire remote team members, right? Most of us are accustomed to just going to an office, you meet face-to-face, you grill them, you supervise them, you train them, you share donuts, but you're all about the virtual life, right?
Yes. I mean, if we could have virtual donuts, then we would be ideal scenario. But
we kind of do.
The rest of it, we make happen remote. So we're finding and teaching people to work effectively remotely and supporting companies and organizations and leaders with remote staff.
Right.
That's what we do.
Do you think, I mean, how to phrase this, right? We got the whole coronavirus thing going on. I mean, it's almost like this is your moment, huh? In a way. I mean,
it feels like it. Yeah. I mean, I've said a lot recently that we have been positioning ourselves the last almost decade. We've been working remote. We've positioned ourselves to really feel like we have an expertise in how to do this. We've learned over the last 9-10 years how to run an organization that's rapidly growing with thousands of team members and not have an office, and how to do it effectively and be organized, and how to communicate, and how to have great culture and have an engaged, connected team, how to do all those things without the donuts and the coffee shop and the cafeteria and all the things that you would think you would get those connections from. We just don't. We do it without. We figured out how to do it well.
Right. And I want to get into some of the pros and cons, but do you have any good stories that have emerged from this coronavirus? Like some of your clients who are maybe reached out and said, thank God, 6 months ago, a year ago, 3 years ago, we started being remote because now we're able to weather the storm.
Yeah, so many. I mean, the stories have flooded in over the last couple of weeks specifically. Clients who said they maybe just started working with us maybe 2 months ago and are saying, oh my gosh, perfect timing. I just hired a remote employee. Here you are. And now because I did, my day-to-day isn't changing very much. I'm already set up to work remote because she's already at home, and now I'm working from home. And on the flip side, all of our virtual assistants and bookkeepers who we staff, we've heard so many stories from them on how blessed they are to work for Belay and our clients because their day-to-day life isn't changing. They're already a remote employee. They're not getting laid off. They're not having to go figure out how to work from home. They have all along. So we hear so many great stories about how being able to be a remote employee has really helped people just keep on keeping on with their employment and their careers and their jobs. So we feel very, very blessed, honestly.
Yeah, that's what we were saying before we hit record. I've worked from home since 2000, worked for myself from home since late 06. So almost 14 years, homeschooled for 12. It's like I didn't realize my life was considered quarantined. So other than not being able to do jujitsu and go to church, I mean, my life is literally not changed.
Yeah, I mean, I feel the same way. Yeah, I feel the same way. I've been kind of figuring out how to do this for 10 plus years. And so I don't feel like my day-to-day is not very different besides, I can't go to the mall with my teenage girls.
Praise the Lord. I've probably
I'm saving so much money.
I think I've saved $10,000 in 3 weeks.
Shopping. Yes.
Yeah. So malls, 10,000, eating out. I've probably saved another 3,000. I mean, this is a net. This is all right. So
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it is crazy. What are some misperceptions about hiring remote staff? Why are people hesitant to do it?
Well, I think people are hesitant because they think if they can't see you or see what you're doing or see you working, pecking away at your computer, they can't see you, then they don't think you're doing your job, or they think you're slacking off, or they think you say you're working, but you're doing laundry. I think there's a perception that if people can't see that you're working because they can't see you in your cubicle or your office, that maybe you're not working. How do I know I'm getting output from you if I can't see the work you're doing?
Right.
That's the biggest thing. Or how do I give you work? How do I delegate to you? How do I know how productive you are? Again, if I can't see you and be in the same room as you or the same office as you.
Right. Well, and the reality is people are always like, I don't know how you can work from home. It's with kids and the interruptions and blah, blah, blah. It's like when I would visit clients, like big cubicle farms, and people are running around, especially the startup world, they're in their flip flops and shorts and shooting each other with Nerf guns. And I was like,
that's more of a distraction than a little kid.
It's like, I would be in jail. I would break somebody's neck. It's like,
wait, all you hear cubicles, cubicles. You hear everybody's conversations and the chatter and the noise just in that big space. I have more peace and quiet working from home with kids than I would have in a setup like that. I mean, it's like create really good boundaries. You teach your family what it means. My kids have known since they're little babies, mom's working, don't come in the office, and here's what you need to know about mom working and not disturbing me. So I get all the peace and quiet I need because I'm setting the boundaries for my household on when to interrupt me and when not to.
Yeah. And, I got 7 kids and a dog. So I got plenty of chances to get interrupted.
Yes. 7 kids.
From time to time, it's been a little loud. Yeah. I've had folks walk in. I've had doorbells ring. I've had dogs bark. But you add all of it up compared to dudes running around shooting each other with Nerf guns, like minimal. And you're right. And they're trained now. My youngest is almost 6 now. And I'll hear the door open, but she'll stick her head in. Daddy,
are you in a meeting?
Are you on a call? All right. But I'm a mute freak. My finger lives on the mute button. Even on this interview, if you're on a roll, right, I'll hit mute. And I'm taking notes as we're going. So trying to minimize the keyboard, but when I'm on a phone call, when I'm not talking, I'm on mute, just by default. And people do need to learn that. But you can't train coworkers. If you do, you're considered bossy. Hard to work with. She's so demanding because she just tells me to be quiet.
I call it having high expectations that you expect people to meet, right? Like nice. I have expectations that you show up a certain way, and your job is to meet them.
Yeah, cool. I love it. I've always said, raise your level of expectations of everyone, even your clients.
And yourself. And yourself, right?
For sure.
Hold yourself accountable to constantly improving, and then people see that. And so when you ask more of them, they just want to follow the leader, right? They know you're not asking them to do anything you haven't done yourself or tried to do yourself. So if I'm constantly raising the bar with which I hold myself accountable to, and then I ask them to, it follows suit.
Right. So these fears, are they working? Are they goofing off? What have you seen? Because the stories I've seen over the years is that when people work from home, employers tend to get more work out of them. They hit the laptop earlier. They don't have a commute. So they'll work a little bit longer, sometimes even fail to disconnect. And, sometimes you're telling them, stop working. You don't need to I don't need a 1-minute response on a Saturday morning.
Yes, true. Yeah, we actually see more the opposite. We probably spend more time asking our team to use their PTO, take time off, shut down at 5 and not work on the weekends. We probably say that more often than we say, what is they doing all day? Well, they are not working. we very rarely actually have to have that conversation. Because if you hire the right people and you hire adults who you trust and come with a great skill set and are self-motivated, because when you're working remote, you really have to be self-motivated individual. You can't be the type of person that needs somebody to constantly be pushing you to get stuff done. You have to be intrinsically motivated. So we look for that when we hire people, because we know that that's important. You got to be,
right.
you got to really own yourself. So you hire the right people, you don't have to worry about those conversations, because we say, we trust you and we will know you're doing your job by your output. At the end of the week, we will know whether or not you did what you were supposed to, because all this checklist is all done. You did A, B, C, D, your job description asks that you do these things. They're all done. That's how you know whether or not somebody was productive, as they completed their job for the week. Now, how they did it, what hours, did they start at 7 or 8 a.m.? We don't care. We do want them to take their evenings and their weekends to their family. We don't work nights and weekends, and we want them to take that time off. And we have a great, PTO policy. We want people to use it, because burnout is can be real life thing when you're working remote. When your work and your home exist in the same place, it's very easy to keep working and not shut off. It's very easy to have your work email, it's on your phone, and you're hanging out with the family at dinner, and to peak and get re-engaged. So we just try and practice having good self boundaries and saying, I'm not going to reply to a work email after X time. I'm not even going to look at my work email on a Saturday.
Yeah. How do people learn that? Because a friend of mine that I train jiu-jitsu with is a beast. He's very disciplined in jiu-jitsu, right? He hits the gym. He trains diligently on the mats. He competes in a lot of tournaments and wins. And as soon as this thing hit, and he had to work from home, because he had like a good 45-minute commute at least. And he's like, oh my gosh, I'm not working out. I literally ate a box of Twinkies. Like literally, he's a big guy. So literally ate a box of Twinkies, right? And I'm like, dude, what? He's like, I need to get back in the office. And it just boggles my mind. I'm like, oh, hell no. But this is a real problem, So and I remember, going back into 2000 was when I was recruited for a remote sales job, like to have a territory, outside of an office. And the headquarters was way up in Utica, New York, and I was in Austin, Texas. So everybody worked from home. And I was nervous about it. And best thing ever. But how do you allay people's fears?
Yeah, I think I had a similar situation. I worked in an office. The owner of Belay, Brian Miles, was my boss. We worked together before he started Belay. And I worked in an office, and I liked going to an office. I'm an extrovert. I'm a people person. I'm a high D personality. I'm an out there person, and I love the energy of being around people. So when he came to me and said, hey, I want to start this company. You want to come work for me? It's all going to be remote. The first thing I thought was, there's no way I'm going to make it at home. I'm a people person. I'm an extrovert. I don't know that's going to work for me or fill my cup. And I did. I had my doubts. But man, was I wrong. I've been working from home for a dozen years now, and I don't think I could actually go back the other way. I think, yes. Do you have to retrain your brain and it's starting from scratch? Absolutely. Do you have to create in-home schedule for yourself? Yeah, you absolutely should. If you're used to you have to be in the office at 9, so you have to leave the house at 8:15, and you got to get up at 7:30 and shower and all those things, still do those same things. I still have a schedule even though I work from home, and it keeps me accountable to not get derailed, right? So I get up, my alarm is set, I start my day at a certain time, I have my breakfast, I keep my routine intact, even though I'm not stuck to a commute or I have to punch a clock, because that's what keeps me motivated and moving and working and not being derailed or distracted. Is I create my own schedule, and I create my boundaries, and I just follow it, keep to it, and then I think what we try and do, because we're a virtual company and we want to have a very engaged organization, we've actually won a couple of awards for having best culture, is because we also try and ensure that there are elements of this that are engaging and fun. Actually, fun is one of our core values. Ironically, for a remote company, we believe in figuring out how to have fun in your day-to-day. So like this morning, every Monday morning, we have an all company meeting for an hour on Zoom. And today we had a virtual scavenger hunt for 15 minutes on the Zoom call. Okay. It was hilarious. It was a bunch of fun, but you can figure out ways how to have fun with what you're doing and not be in an office.
Yeah. Well, and I know personally, and those listening, nobody has to watch, but you can nod your head. But I'm like you, like high D, just hard charging, boom, boom, just react and just make things happen. Hey, I got this idea. But when you have a remote team that's 3 time zones or 8 time zones or 12 time zones away, they're not always there. Right. And so it requires some planning. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to figure out what I need done for tomorrow. And I need to get that done by the end of the day so I can shut down and have that waiting for my team. Oh my gosh, it forced me to be more of a planner and think things through. And
yes.
You think that's part of the fear is maybe we don't want to change, or we don't think we have the ability to be that organized, disciplined leader?
Yeah, I mean, I think it does take, it's a unique skill set, to your point, right? You're not going to get, there may not be the immediate gratification you're used to. Like before, you could walk into Bob's office and go, hey, Bob, I need the report. And you can have it right at that minute time. Like that goes away. So there comes, to your point, you have to project, I need this report. When do I actually need it by? And then have patience, which is one of the things that I've learned from working remote, because I have no patience. I've learned to be patient. And actually in the process as a leader, it's actually a great skill set to have, patience. So, and recognizing that you don't actually need everything now. We are not in an emergency room. This is not life or death. And things can wait an hour or whatever the time frame is, or till tomorrow. So it's a great reminder to plan accordingly, be patient, and check yourself at like how critical something actually is.
Yeah. God, give me patience, and give me patience now. I need it now, God. Right? So, all right. On your homepage here, you have our new resource gives away 13 tips on how to lead your team remotely without losing a minute of productivity. So give us 1 or 2 of those. Kind of wet our whistles, will you?
So many tips. First and foremost, get on webcam. You leading people who are remote that you can't see at all is harder than leading people you can at least see on a webcam. So tip for sure is get on a webcam, see your people, read body language, see faces, read expression, and be engaged. First and foremost is to get really comfortable. And a lot of people hate that. We have a lot of clients come here and say, I do have no desire to Zoom with my team. I don't want to Zoom with anybody. They can call me when they need me. And we say, that's great, but this is what we're recommending. You will have depth. You will have deeper conversation and more understanding if you can actually see somebody, even if it's not in person.
Are those the same people that 30 years ago said, we don't need no facsimile machine? Who needs to
the same people, they still use fax. They still try to use fax.
I don't need no text messaging. They can just call me. If they can write a letter if they need to reach me, right? Those people?
Yes. Those people. Yeah. So see your people, see them. And frequently, the other thing I would say is you, because you will not run into people in the hallway and you won't be able to step into Bob's office and ask him for a report and all the things, you will need to have FaceTime, scheduled time, Zoom time, whatever that's going to be, more frequently than you think you do. So for me, every person that reports to me, I meet with at least once a week. I'm seeing this person on Zoom to cover all the things. And even if you think you have nothing to talk about, it always turns out we have something to talk about. So I would say over schedule the time you need with your team and your people, assuming you need to talk to them more than you think you do when you're in an office, because you won't have the opportunity for the ad hoc run-ins. Is expect to be way more intentional about spending time with.
So what about things like Slack and text and whatever? Because in some ways, I mean, we can reach one another immediately.
Yes. And instant message. Absolutely. Email. You can do all those things.
And some of those, they're distracting though, right? I mean, they can make you inefficient. Ding, 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 ding. Like, holy crap. Now I got to work at night because everybody will leave me alone. I can freaking focus for a minute.
Yes. Well, I turn all my notifications off. So like my phone is on silent basically 24 hours a day because it can't distract me. I have to decide where I'm spending my time, and it's not going to be at the mercy of whoever's texting me right at this minute or whoever's instant messaging me, or I have to decide where I'm going to spend my time and attention. And I'm not going to let the technology tell me when I have to. However, yes, you want to have different communication methods for different things. Text groups, our leadership team, we all have a text group, and there's certain specific things we text each other about. Instant message, use it every day for one quick questions. It's not worthy of an email even. You're like, hey, what time is the such and such? Like that for us is a quick instant message. Quick one-on-one, you don't even want to send an email. And then like a chatter or a Slack channel for like group or team or company communication. We actually just moved to Salesforce as our CRM this year. So we're using the chatter function inside of there, which is how we all talk to each other in teams or global teams, but we used to use Slack as well. So I think one of those as well for like global sharing of where everybody is, or if people have questions of somebody outside of a one-off.
Right. So do y'all have an office at all, or is it everybody remote?
Yeah, no office. We're remote. Nobody has it. This is the office right here. This is it. Everyone's home. The owners, no office. Their office is at their house.
Do y'all meet? Do you have like an annual team meeting?
Yes. So we try and meet quarterly, in person quarterly. That has changed thanks to COVID. So we are supposed to see each other in April, which is not going to happen. So we are converting our quarterly in-person team meeting into a virtual team meeting. So we will convert it just like a lot of conferences are doing out there, right? Sales conferences, and they're just taking it online. So we're going to take it online for now, but as soon as we can, we will get the team together because there is something very valuable about face-to-face time that cannot be replicated or replaced. And we do, we do think it's really important.
Right. And along those lines, like how do you detect if something is off? Can you pick it up just as quickly, being remote, if you have like video calls or maybe production starts to dwindle? Because I know there is that body language. You can just tell like, hey, Tricia seems kind of off today or this week.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody talk to her? Can you pick up the same kind of cues remotely?
I think you can. It takes a keen sense, and you got to look in different places. First, if you're on video, you can see if somebody's how they're showing up on video. But we're also really maniacal about collecting data and information as an organization. So, we use the heck out of our CRM, and we're tracking everybody's progress and all of their work product. So you could see if all of a sudden there's a decline in productivity. We can see if an account representative is not making calls they're supposed to, or we can see if there's a decline in performance. Every individual in every role has their KPIs or key performance indicators that we're very aware and attentive to, and we use them to measure and see if there's dips and changes. So I think between seeing somebody on video and then being very maniacal to watch information and data and KPIs, you'll be able to tell if there's an issue.
Yeah.
Plus, if you lead in a way that's like wide open, palms open, and open relationship and open communication. I mean, we have most of our team members would come to us and say, hey, I'm having problems. I have a sick aunt. We actually ask our team to be vulnerable, let us know if there's something going on with them personally that we need to be aware of as their employers, and try and be really gracious leaders and make sure, we create a platform and an opportunity for people to feel they can come share what is really going on.
Right.
If they need to.
How about them apples, huh? Be open and transparent. Don't just say
I know.
it,
is that a girl thing?
No, but I see a lot of companies, they'll put it, stenciled on their wall in their conference room, and they're like the total opposite. It's like, dude, just because you're right on the wall doesn't mean it is. You got to live it.
Well, that's one of the things, right? Like, you got to actually show up and do it yourself.
Yeah.
Like, we can't say we want you to come and tell us if you need help with something, but then when you come, we don't want to hear it. So we practice what we preach, or we all should, right? But we really try and live out and practice what we preach, really.
Yeah. So I've got the link here, but people may be jogging or whatever, right? Is there? But it's the Belay Guide to Working from Home. Is it from the home page? How can we, if folks just go to belaysolutions.com?
Yeah. So there's a work from home resources tab. And on there actually is this resource and tons of other work from home resources on that resource tab. Yep. We have added on there, it's the Belay Guide to Working from Home. And so it's belaysolutions.com / work from WFH/resources. And we have all kinds of blogs, vlogs, webinars, you name it. There's something on there that will help you walk away with a tip on how to lead or work virtually better than maybe you did before you clicked that link.
Yep. So virtual assistants, virtual bookkeepers, website specialists, very cool. Bookkeeping, productive week, website management, secrets to delegation. Do less, a webinar to help you accomplish more by doing less. 9 reasons to rethink your approach to staffing. And that's not even half of them. So,
yes.
So just go to belaysolutions.com. Just remember that if you're jogging. And then very top is resources. And just get after it.
We're trying to get it out there. We know a lot of people have very last minute been told they need to figure out how to work from home.
Yep.
And we're trying to just share what we've learned over the last decade so that maybe people can struggle a little less trying to make the transition and do a better job leading and working from home if they never have before.
Yep. U.S. based. Very cool. Our contractors in the U.S. with proven and tested experience. I like it. Very nice.
Thank you. Did
I leave out anything?
I don't think so.
All right. Speak now or forever hold your peace.
you got it. Sometimes you got to be careful what you wish for on that one.
All right. Very cool.
Great talking to you. Yes. Thank you.
Tricia Sciortino, all the way from North Carolina. Thanks for coming on the Sales Podcast.
Thanks for having me. Thank you.
Right. Have a great day.
You too.
So burnout is real when you work from home. What do you do when you're extroverted? High D, like she and I both are. She had her doubts. I had my doubts going way back. But you do have to retrain your brain. You got to create your in-home schedule, create your culture, and even fun. I schedule my stuff, my workouts, family time. I love her concept, with the Monday morning team Zoom call. Okay, it's a different skill set. But hey, this is the new normal. So you can fight it, or you can lean into it. Okay, you need more patience. Like she says, you don't need to know. You don't need everything now. That was a big learning thing for me. I have 2 different project management platforms open all the time on my desk. and different companies that I use. So I learn, it keeps them efficient. That's fine. I'll adjust. So keep measuring. I've got a sales calculator. It's a free tool on the saleswhisper.com. Check that out. I'll give you some ideas on the metrics, on your conversions. Okay. I focus on sales because everything starts with sales. Everything is sales. Everything. So you got to get clear on that. And I've always said you don't need more traffic. You need better conversions. Each step of the process, every touch, you've got to get better at converting. Once you've dialed in your conversions, then you can get more traffic. If you send more traffic without optimizing your conversions, you're being inefficient. You're wasting money. And I tell you what, going to the end of 2020 into 2021, you better be efficient, or you're going to have a tough time. Okay, the stupid money's gone. How we do things is going to change. Already has changed. It's going to sink in. So get smart about it. All right. Let me help you. thesaleswhisper.com. Go to the Contact Us. Right on the homepage, there's a couple of buttons there. Talk with Wes. Let's see if there's a fit. I've got a link as well on the bottom if you want to just hire me for 30 days and just have unlimited access to me, pick my brain, text me, call me, get a link to my Zoom calendar. I have that as an option. Okay, I can't take on too many like that. So if it's not there on the website, then I'm full. Okay, but you can jump right in if you want to get some help. So, I'm adjusting, right? Figuring out how to differentiate myself, how to better serve you. And that's what I'm doing, right? I'm a product of the product. I eat my own dog food. If you want some free help, theimplementors.com is still alive and well. Hop on in, ask your questions. Okay, I'm doing all I can. I still got to earn some money, feed the family, but I do as much free advice giving as I can. As you can see by this being the 447th episode of the Sales Podcast. So take that. All right. Thank you for listening. Please subscribe. Please share this. Please give me a 5-star review. All that helps. I appreciate you tuning in, subscribing. Now go sell something.